So like when this thing's cold, usually I give it a little shot of ether. And it's this, for some reason this tractor doesn't like choke very much, but I do choke it all the way for the first little crank, maybe just to get the fuel going.
When it's cold or always?
When it's cold, just when it's cold. And then as soon as I crank it for 2 or 3 seconds, then I close the choke just a little bit, so then you're about that much just sticking out instead of that much, about that much. And then I get ready and I hit the start button and I spray some ether, just a few shots, and then I keep cranking it and it should fire off. It'll usually idle pretty good. And then after it idles for a few seconds, you can push the choke all the way in. But it should start right up now. So you got, this is your clutch. These are your brakes, and you've got one brake for each wheel. You can clamp them, you can put them together with this little deal here. Locks them together. But usually when I'm in the field, I don't use that. That's mainly if you're going to be on the road. You never use this one because we're not hooked up to any remote right now. I don't have a remote.
Is that for like the PTO?
This is for like a remote cylinder, like a hydraulic cylinder, because there's remote hookups back there. And you would use that with this. This is your disc, 3-point right there. Okay. That's down and this is up. I got it set as fast as it'll go right now. You can control the speed. And there's your gear shift. So that's neutral all the way up and down, except for the very top is park. So as long as it's over in this little spot right there, it's either park or neutral. And then if you push it down out of park and then push it over, now you're within, you know, this would be your low. There should be a diagram on there. You can hardly read it, but anyway, the further you go down, the higher the gear. And then these bottom slots, this bottom slot, reverse. That's reverse, yeah. Okay.
So like, I go down and then like up.
That's first gear.
And then
it's like third or something like that, I think.
Like over like that. And then all the way down in reverse.
Yep. And then if you want to go in a higher range, then you put down another notch. Boom, boom, and then reverse. Same thing.
Will all of those pretty much work from a stopping point, or do you have to like shift like you're in a car?
No, yeah, every single gear will work from a stop, from a dead stop. Yeah.
So basically, just like the other one.
Yep. Yeah, just like the tractor.
What's speed?
So this, I usually go in the second range. So this range right here with this gear right there. And sometimes it won't catch, like it'll pop out of gear. But if you put it in reverse and then push it up into that gear, it should go.
Okay.
For some reason, it pops out. That's the transmission. And then the throttle's kind of weird on this tractor. I need to figure out, it's basically not working right at the moment. So this is all the way idle where it's at right now. And then push it all the way down, that's high. This little foot pedal gets stuck. That's the main problem. So watch what happens if I pull the throttle down. See how it goes down?
Yeah.
Okay, so then when you get to the end of the row and you want to idle back, pull that up, and you have to reach down here with your hand and pull this like that.
Should I use this or this?
Whatever you're most comfortable with. I think it's a matter of preference, honestly.
I feel like I like this better.
Yeah. That's like a car gas pedal. But if you want to like hold it to a minimum RPMs, you can bump this a little bit and it'll hold, it'll like not idle quite so low.
It's like cruise control.
Yeah. So like when you get to the end of the rows and you're using your brake to turn, you see how I stood on my brake to turn sometimes? You almost have to do it all the time. So like when you go to turn around, you get to the end of the row, go as far as you can, you stop with your front wheels at the furthest, point you can go.
And then you do that, you use both of these, right?
Use both brakes, yeah. And then the first thing I do is I throttle back. In your case, you just let off of the foot pedal, right? That'll happen naturally.
Brakes.
Looks like the master's kind of sticky there. But you get to the end, let off the throttle. And then I usually throw it in reverse first. That way, if you don't accident, like if you forget you're in forward and you accidentally pop the clutch out, you're not going to run into something.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So first thing I do is I let off the throttle and I throw it in reverse. That's just a habit. I learned that when I was a little kid. That way, if you make a mistake, it's not terrible. I made a mistake the other day and I broke that fence post down, fence rail. See that down there? It's broken. I thought it was in reverse and popped forward and just broke it. So let off throttle, put it in reverse, and then lift up your implement. Just push this all the way to the top. That'll raise up, and then you can start backing up. So back up probably 10 feet maybe, just so you can get to a point where you can comfortably turn. And then you start turning, and as you turn, you're going to use the brake towards your turn, and it'll stop this wheel, and it'll help your front end go around without skidding.
Okay. So I'm turning right, I use the right brake.
Yep. Yeah, you'll get the hang of that. And then once you get spun around, you're facing the other end, then you just go ahead and kind of line yourself up, and then you back up to the point where you're going to drop your disc. Try to get as close as you can without, you know, ruining anything. Drop your disc, and then usually when I get to that point, I'll put it in forward, same reason, so I don't back into something.
Yeah.
And then I'll drop the disc, and then I'll start to ease off the clutch as I'm throttling it up. And you want to get up to full speed as quick as you can.
Okay.
So, because you want continuous speed on your passes, and you'll get the most uniform results.
And do you go pretty much full throttle?
Yep, full throttle. Peg it. Speed is important, so this one and that gear right there, that's the gear you want to be in.
So what happens if I pull it all the way over? Like that?
Doesn't matter.
Same thing.
Same gear. That's the same gear.
This just keeps it from moving.
But if it pops out, drop it in reverse and then push it forward. And it should go into gear. Okay, you want to try it?
Yep.
Maybe just do a pass right here. Where you already did it. Okay.
That is it, my friends, for the end of this video. If you find this video enjoyable or helpful for driving a tractor, please like, comment, and subscribe for more to come. See ya.